Good morning students. I introduce myself to you. I am Kalaimagal. I am working as a computer science teacher in our institution. Now I am going to take class for grade 7. Subject is computer science. Chapter name is computer software and languages. Okay. So related to this chapter, some concepts we have discussed in first video class. So in this video class, we are going to discuss some topics in the same chapter. So what are all? A programming language and generation of computer language. First we will discuss about the definition and details of the programming language. Okay. First one is what? Programming language. Students, you are having any idea about what is meant by language? So, it is a method or way to communicate with others. Okay, it is a way or method to communicate with others. For example, consider these two persons. So, how these two persons can communicate with each other? With the help of the certain languages. With the help of the certain languages. So we are using many languages all around the world. So what are all? Tamil, Hindi, Malayalam, Telugu, etc. So the persons can communicate with each other using any languages. Okay. How do the person can communicate with machine? That means communicate with computer. Okay. This is person. This is computer. How do a person can communicate with computer? How does a person communicate with computer? Using a special language. That special language is known as programming language. That special language is known as programming language. Is it clear, student? Here the person can communicate with the computer using a special language is called programming language. So with the help of the programming language we can communicate with the computer. So programming language help us to communicate with the computer. Okay. Programming language help us to communicate with computer. Did you understand about programming language? Okay. I will explain with the help of the real-time example. So, consider the language English. How we are writing in English? How we are speaking in English? Are you following any rules? Are you following any rules? Yes. Here we are following some set of rules. Based on these rules, only we are speaking in English, we are writing in English. So that set of rules are known as grammar. Okay. So based on the grammar only, we are writing as well as we are speaking in English. Okay. So with the help of the grammar only we can frame the sentences and we can pronunciate the words and all. Okay. So grammar is nothing but what? That is set of rules. Okay. Similarly, we are using some set of rules to communicate with the computer. We are using some set of rules to communicate with the computer. Using set of rules, we can communicate with the computer. The set of rules are known as algorithm. Set of rules are known as algorithm. Algorithm means other way how we can tell, that is step by step process. That is step-by-step process. Set of rules are set of instructions. Set of rules are set of instructions are known as algorithm. So algorithm means what? That step-by-step process. Okay. So we are giving set of instructions to the computer to do some specific task. So last video class I explained. I am asking, suppose if we want to do addition program in computer. So what you have to do? You have to give some set of instructions. So that using that set of instructions only you can get the result of the addition program. Isn't it or not? Okay. So here each and every programming languages are having some set of rules. That means we have to follow some set of rules to write the program. Many languages, programming languages we are using to write the program. So program means what? Set of instructions. The set of instructions means what? Algorithm. Algorithm means what? Step-by-step process. I think you understood. The next one is which type of instructions the computer will understand? Which type of instructions the computer will understand? Let us see. So, you know, computer is an electronic device, but it can understand only the electrical signals. It can understand only the electrical signals. We can give the signals to the computer two ways. In two ways we can give the signals to the computer. What are all? High voltage and low voltage. Sorry student, high signal and low signal. High signal and low signal. So this high signal is referred as high voltage. This high signal is referred as high voltage. This low signal is referred as that is low voltage. This high voltage is represented as 1. This low voltage is represented as 0. So here we are using the high and low voltages for giving instructions to the computer. So different combinations of high voltage and low voltage we are using for giving instructions to the computer, for communicate with the computer. So these zeros and ones are called binary digits. These zeros and ones are called what? Binary digits. Okay. So the combinations of these zeros and ones give arise to a language. Gives arise to a language. Is called machine language. Is called what? Machine language. So that machine language is one type of programming language. That machine language is a type of programming language. So each and every programming languages are having some special kind of keyword and special type of, that means special syntax. So here syntax means what? Set of rules. Using that rules only we can give the instructions to the computer. How I said now? That English means if you want to write or speak in English, you have to follow some set of rules. That is known as grammar. So here, if you are writing some set of instructions, if you are giving some set of instructions to the computer, how? By using some programming languages. So that programming language, it's having some syntax and special keywords. Did you understand, student? Okay. The next one is generation of computer language. Generation of computer language. Generation of computer language. Here, with the advancement in technology, the way we are giving instructions to the computer, the way we are writing program in computer, everything is changed. Okay, with advancement in technology, the way we are interact with the computer, the way we are writing program in computer is changed. So these changes are divided into generations, 5 parts. These changes are divided into 5 generations. So what are a first generation, then second generation, then third generation, then fourth generation and fifth generation. Let me see one by one. So what are the changes are divided into 5 generations: first, second, third, fourth and fifth. So 5 generations are available. Let me see one by one. A first generation. In first generation, which type of language we used? We used only a machine level languages. We used in first generation, we used a machine based language. Machine languages only we used. So these machine languages, here the instructions are given to the computer using machine languages, that is comprised of constitute of zeros and ones. Constitute zeros and ones. So these zeros and ones are called what? Binary digit. These zeros and ones are called what? Binary digits. Okay. It's having some advantage and also disadvantage. Let me see one by one. First one is, first we are going to see advantage. So what are the advantages are available? That is fast. Then did not require any translator. Did not require any translator. How the first generation language was very fast. I will explain. Because here you know very well the computer will understand only the machine language in the form of zeros and ones. Whatever we are giving, whatever we are writing, everything is computer will understand all the information in the form of zeros and ones. That is called machine language. So here we are giving instructions to the computer directly using the digits zeros and ones. That is directly we are writing program using machine language. So the execution will be very fast. Execution will be very fast. Did not require any translator. You know what is meant by translator? It is an utility program to convert one programming language into another programming language. Okay. So here the translator, directly we are writing programs using machine language. So no need use any translator. No need to use any translator. Okay. Even though it's having some advantages, but some more disadvantages are there. So what are all? Let me see disadvantages. First one, lengthy. Second one, complex. Third one, time consuming in writing coding. Time consuming in writing coding. Then fourth one, not portable. I will explain one by one. Okay. So lengthy. Why we are telling here? If we want to print any even a single letter on the screen, we have to write the lengthy coding. So for example, if I want to print the letter L onto the screen, so for that I have to write the codings. That means 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. If I am giving this, if I am writing this coding, the letter L is printed on the screen. Okay. Suppose if I want to print the word hello world on the computer screen, what I have to do? I have to write codings. So each letter, if I want to print the letter L, I have to use here the 8 digits. Okay. So here, if I want to print this hello world on the screen, it contains a very lengthy coding, isn't it or not? So that is one type of disadvantage. Okay, that is a one type of disadvantage. For a simple task, we have to write lengthy codings. Okay, the next one is complex. Can we remember this? Can we do? No, the human was not able to understand this machine language and also was not able to remember. Human is not able to remember this coding. So it is very complex. Okay. The next one is time consuming in coding. What I said, the lengthy of codings, it will take time to write the codings using machine level languages. That is a time consuming in coding. The next one is not portable. Why we are telling not portable? Because the program written in machine language in one computer is not able to run in another computer. Why? Because the machine to machine, the hardware configurations will be different. So it is not portable. So what are the advantages and disadvantages we have seen in first generation? Advantage, fast, and they did not require any translator. Then disadvantage, lengthy, then complex, then time consuming in coding, then not portable. So as the program was very lengthy and also it is very complex to programmer, then the programmer decided to write a program by using some other language, that is called assembly level language. That assembly level language is introduced in second generation. This assembly level language were introduced in second generation. This first generation falls under the year 1940 to 1959. So between these year only the first generation language was introduced. Between this year 1940 to 1959. Okay. The next one is second generation language. In second generation language, what language we used? That is assembly level language. In second generation, what type of language we used? Assembly level language. So this language was introduced, that is in the year 1959 to 1965. Okay, between these year only the second generation were introduced. Okay, here we are using assembly languages. Assembly level languages we are using. So it is made use of mnemonic codes. The mnemonic code means what? That is symbolic representations. Mnemonic code means what? That is symbolic representation. Is it clear, student? So I will explain that symbolic representation. The mnemonic code means by using this code we can easily access the function. I will tell one example. Using this code, the programmer can easily write the codings in assembly level language. Consider the term INC. That means increase by 1. That means instead of giving increase by 1, instead of giving entire phrase, we can give in short manner. That is INC. Is it clear, student? This is mnemonic code. And also I explained that last class, add A, B. That is, here we are adding two variable values. Here the add is a mnemonics code. So with the help of the mnemonics code, the programmer can easily write the codings by using assembly level language. Here mnemonics means it is a symbolic representation. Okay. It's having some advantage as well as disadvantage. So what are all? Let me see one by one. First one is disadvantage. Here we are writing codings in assembly level language. So what happened? Here the programmer that means easy to understand. Then second one is saved time. In codings. How? When comparing a machine level language, that in assembly level language, we can easily write the codings. So the times are where we can use only less time. The programmer are using a less time to write the codings in assembly level language. And also here errors are reduced. Less error. It occurs only and less errors. Errors are reduced. Okay. Because that means programmer easily understand this with the help of the symbolic representations. Okay. So these are all the advantages of the second generation language. The next one is disadvantage. What are the disadvantage or the what is said machine level language and advantage? It does not require any translator. But here we need some translator. Why? Because here we are writing a program using assembly level language. So we need to convert that assembly level language into machine level. So we need a translator, that is called assembler. So with the help of the assembler, we can convert the assembly level language into machine level, because the computer will understand only the machine level language. Okay. So here time consuming for execution. Is it clear, student? Okay, it will take time to execute that program, assembly level language program. Okay, the next one is here time consuming for execution. Then it requires the translator. Okay, with the help of the translator. So translator is nothing but what? It is a one type of utility program to convert a program written in one language to another language. Is it clear, student? So what are the advantages and disadvantages we have seen for the second generation language? Easy to understand, saved time in coding, then less error. Then disadvantage, time consuming for execution. It will take more time to execute the program. Okay. The next, it requires the translator. Okay. These first generation and second generations both are machine dependent. Okay. I will explain. In first generation we used what? Machine language. Isn't it, Arna? In first generation we used machine language. In second generation we used assembly level language. So both are machine dependent. And also this assembly level language, it's having one disadvantage, not portable. Not portable means the programs written in one format, that means the program written in one computer is not able to run in another computer. So both machine level and assembly level language, it's some disadvantages, that is not portable. Okay, and also these languages are considered as low level languages. The first two generations of the languages are considered as low level languages. The next three generations are considered as high level languages. Okay, so not portable. For this reason, the programmer decides to develop some other languages. That is, if they are writing a program in one computer, is able to run in another computer. So we are moving to next generation, that is third generation language. Third generation language. So these third generation language falls under the year, that is 1965 to till now. 1965 to till now. So this third generation language is machine independent language. Machine independent language. That means portable. That means portable. Portable means what? The program, we are writing program in one computer is able to run in another computer. That is the meaning for portable. And also this machine level, that is this is a high level language. This is considered as high level language. I said now the first two generations are low level. The next three generations are high level languages. Okay. Here English words are used. English words we used to denote the variables and programming structure. To denote the variables and programming structure. To denote the variable and programming structure. Is it clear, student? So only we are telling this third generation language is high level language. It's having advantage and also a disadvantage. Okay. So these are all the advantage, considered as advantage. So this is machine independent. That means programs written in one computer is able to run in another computer. High level. Why we are telling this is high level? English words we are using to denote the variables and structure. So we are telling this is high level language. Two more advantages are there. That is, this is a structured programming language. Structured programming language means what? Having any idea? I will tell. So this third generation language is known as structured programming language. Structured programming language. Here the program is divided into section. So each section is performing some specific task. Each section performs some specific task. So we are telling the third generation language is structured programming language. Okay. It's having some disadvantage. It's having some disadvantage. What are all? I said this is high level language. So we need translator. Why? Because we have to convert the high level language into machine level. So it requires translator. It requires translator. And also it takes time to execution. It takes time to execution. Why? Time taken for execution. Because here conversion is take place now. Okay, conversion is take place. So time taken for execution. Did you understand, student? Okay. The third generation language, it's having some disadvantage. It requires translator to convert the high level language into machine level, because the computer will understand only machine level language. And also it will take time to execute. It will take time to execute. Okay. The next one is fourth generation language. Okay. Apart from from this, the third generation language, we introduced, what are the language we introduced first in third generation language? Fortran, COBOL, ALGOL. Okay, and later we introduced C, C++, Java. So these are all considered as high level languages. These languages are high level languages. Okay, the next one is fourth generation language. A fourth generation language is very closer to human language. It is very closer to human language. Fourth generation, it is very closer to human language. Why? Because we used English like syntaxes and phrases. We used English like syntax. You know, syntax means what? Set of rules. Using the rules only we can give the instructions to the computer. Okay, syntax and phrases. And also, this is also considered as high level language. This is also considered as high level language. Okay. The next one is non-procedural language. Non-procedural language means the third generation is procedural language. This is non-procedural language. Non-procedural language means we are giving instructions to the computer, that is what is to do. It is enough to know what is to do rather than how to do. Just we are instructs the computer what to do rather than how to do. That is non-procedural languages. Is it clear, student? Non-procedural languages. Okay. The next, it's having, these are the advantage. Even though it's having advantage, it's having some disadvantages also. In fourth generation, we used, we can store the large amount of data. We can store the large amount of data. It handles large amount of data. For example, DBMS software we can tell, database management system. I explained in first video class what is meant by database, the collection of informations. We can store, we can manipulate the data which is available on the database with the help of the database management system. Here manipulation means what? We can store, retrieve, delete, insert. Everything is coming under the concept manipulations. Okay. So we can handle large amount of data, large data. Okay. The next, even though it's having some advantages, it's having some, even though the four generations are having some advantages, as well as it's having some disadvantages. What are? Here we need a translator. We need a translator. Why? Because this is high level language, no? So require translator. Why? Because this is high level. We have to convert this high level language into machine level. Isn't it or not? And also it takes more space to store this program in memory. It takes more space to store this program in memory. And also I will write so disadvantage is what? Disadvantage of fourth generation. Fourth generation, it requires translator. It needs more space in memory. Next, it takes more time. It takes more time for execution because this is high level language. We need translator for converting high level language into machine level. For that it will take more time for execution. Did you understand, student? Okay. The next one, last generation. What is in the fourth generation falls under the year 1992 till now. 1992 till now. I have forgotten to mention the year. Okay. The next one is fifth generation. Here the fifth generation, this is researching is going on. Till now we are using, and researching also going on in this fifth generation. So let me see. Now and beyond. Now and beyond. Research is going on in fifth generation. So here we are making the computers are designed to solve a problem. Here the computers are designed to solve a problem without programmer. Without programmer. That means example here. Computers are designed to solve problems without programmer. Okay, I will tell an example. Okay, see here, example, a good example where we are using this fifth generation language in artificial intelligence. In artificial intelligence, we are using this fifth generation language. What does mean by that artificial intelligence? Students, I am asking you that every humans are having thinking power and also every humans are having feeling. So here what we are doing, we are making a computer to think, to feel. That is an artificial intelligence. Have you heard about the robot? Here the example we can tell robot. Where we are using this fifth generation concept in artificial intelligence, that means we are making a computer to think, to do some work on its own. So up to fourth generation, what we have seen, we have to give some instructions to do. We are giving some instructions to the computer to do some particular task. But here what we are doing, whatever the computer wants to do, we have to program. Already we have to program that. So without the human, without the programmer, the computer has to do some work, has to solve the problems. So that is an artificial intelligence. Here robots are example for this. Have you heard about the robot Sophia? Okay. The Sophia is a type of robot. It was activated, that is introduced by the company, Hong Kong based company were introduced this type of robot. Hong Kong based company. Hong Kong based company were introduced this robot. Here the robot name is what? Sophia. Okay. So it was activated in the year 2016. In the year 2016, it was activated. So what type of program we have used already? We have programmed already. Some instructions have given to this robot. And what type of instructions means? It imitates the human gesture. This robot imitates the human gesture and சைகை பண்றதெல்லாம் imitate பண்ணும், and also facial expressions, and also this robot is able to do some specific task. This robot were designed to do some specific task. It is a social humanoid robot. It is a social humanoid robot. Social humanoid means what? It's like a human. It's like a human. It's like a human. Okay. So these are all the generations of the computer. So what are the topics we have discussed in this video class? A programming language, then generation of the computer. So generations, how many generations we have discussed? 5 generations. The first generation, second generation, the third generation, a fourth generation and fifth generation. The first 2 generations are low level languages. The next 3 generations are very high level languages. I hope you understood my class. We will see you in next class, student. Thank you.